The legendary tale of its founding. Using a combination of diplomacy, their efforts were met with fierce opposition from the Senate. After the overthrow of its last king, Tarquin the Proud, Antony's alliance with Cleopatra in 312 CE. The history of Rome is a remarkable tale of how a small city-state evolved into one of the most formidable empires the world has ever seen, only to eventually fall under the weight of its own vastness and internal strife. At its zenith, the Roman Empire controlled much of Europe, North Africa, and parts of Asia. The rise of Rome is a story of conquest, political innovation, cultural achievement, and ultimately, decline. Yet, its legacy continues to influence modern society in profound ways. The legendary tale of its founding, involving twin brothers raised by a she-wolf, sets the stage for the grandeur and ambition that would come to define the Roman Empire. This mythic beginning serves as a fitting prologue to the empire's complex and compelling history. The origins of Rome are deeply rooted in legend. According to myth, Romulus and Remus, the twin sons of Mars, the god of war, and the mortal woman Rhea Silvia, were abandoned as infants by their uncle, King Amulius. They were left to die by the Tiber River, but fate intervened, and the twins were saved by a she-wolf who nursed and protected them. This miraculous survival set the tone for Rome's resilience and strength. As the brothers grew, they sought to establish a new city. However, a fierce rivalry emerged between them, and Romulus killed Remus in a dispute over where the city should be founded. Romulus went on to become the first king of the new city, which he named Rome, in his honor. While largely mythical, the story of Romulus and Remus represents the indomitable spirit of Rome. The city's early days were challenging as it struggled against neighboring tribes like the Etruscans and Sabines. These early conflicts helped shape the military discipline that would later make Rome famous. The city's location near the Tiber River proved advantageous, offering both trade opportunities and natural defenses. Rome's transition from a monarchy to a republic in 509 BCE marked the beginning of a new era. After the overthrow of its last king, Tarquin the Proud, Rome established the Roman Republic, a government based on the principles of shared power and civic duty. Unlike a monarchy, the Republic sought to prevent any one individual from gaining too much power, with authority divided between different institutions. At the heart of the Roman Republic were two annually elected consuls who shared executive power and commanded the military. The Senate, composed of Rome's wealthiest citizens, held significant influence over political and financial matters. However, this system was not truly democratic. Power was concentrated in the hands of the High Patricians, the aristocratic elite, while the High Plebeians, or common people, had limited rights. The tension between patricians and plebeians culminated in the struggle of the orders, a series of social conflicts over political representation. Over time, the plebeians won significant reforms, including the establishment of the tribune of the plebs, which granted them the power to veto unjust laws. These concessions helped stabilize the Republic, enabling it to focus on external threats. Rome's political structure allowed it to expand its influence across the Italian peninsula, using a combination of diplomacy, alliances, and military conquest. The city's ability to integrate conquered peoples into its political system was a key factor in its success. As Rome expanded its territory throughout Italy, it eventually clashed with Carthage, a powerful maritime empire in North Africa. This rivalry led to the Punic Wars, a series of conflicts that would define Rome's rise to dominance in the Western Mediterranean. The First Punic War, 264–241 BCE, was sparked by a struggle for control over the island of Sicily. Rome, initially lacking a strong navy, quickly adapted and built a fleet capable of challenging Carthage's dominance at sea. After more than 2 decades of fighting, Rome emerged victorious, gaining control of Sicily, its first overseas province. The Second Punic War, 218–201 BCE, is perhaps the most famous, largely due to the exploits of the Carthaginian general Hannibal Barca. In one of the most audacious military campaigns in history, Hannibal led an army, including war elephants, across the Alps into Italy. He inflicted several crushing defeats on the Romans, most notably at the Battle of Cannae, where his smaller force destroyed a much larger Roman army. Despite these early victories, Hannibal was unable to deliver a decisive blow to Rome. Over time, Roman resilience, combined with strategic counterattacks, led to Hannibal's defeat. In the Third Punic War, 149–146 BCE, Rome sought to eliminate Carthage once and for all. The Roman legions besieged and ultimately destroyed the city, erasing Carthage from the map. With Carthage defeated, Rome emerged as the uncontested power in the Western Mediterranean, paving the way for further expansion. Rome's victories in the Punic Wars brought wealth and vast new territories, but they also created new challenges. The influx of wealth exacerbated social inequalities, enriching Rome's aristocracy, while leaving many common people, especially soldiers, impoverished. Many plebeians, returning from wars, found their farms in ruins and were forced to sell their land to wealthy landowners who formed vast estates known as latifundia. This growing economic inequality led to social unrest. The Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius Gracchus, proposed land reforms aimed at redistributing wealth to Rome's poorer citizens. However, their efforts were met with fierce opposition from the Senate, and both brothers were eventually assassinated. Their deaths marked a turning point in Roman politics, as violence became an accepted tool of political power. The late Republic was also characterized by the rise of powerful military generals who used their armies to achieve political dominance. One of the most influential figures of this period was Gaius Marius, who reformed the Roman military by opening it to the lower classes. This move created a professional army that was loyal to its commanders rather than to the state. Following in Marius's footsteps, Lucius Cornelius Sulla seized power in a bloody civil war. Sulla's dictatorship exposed the weaknesses of the Republic, as the use of military force to settle political disputes became increasingly common. Though Sulla eventually retired, the Republic's days were numbered. One of the most important figures in Roman history emerged from this period of turmoil: Julius Caesar. A brilliant military commander and politician, Caesar's conquest of Gaul made him immensely popular with the Roman people. However, his growing power alarmed the Senate, particularly his rival, Pompey, who feared Caesar would overthrow the Republic. In 49 BCE, the Senate ordered Caesar to disband his army and return to Rome. Instead, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River, with his troops, a direct challenge to the authority of the Senate. "The die is cast," Caesar declared as he crossed the Rubicon, initiating a civil war between his forces and those of Pompey. After a series of victories, Caesar became the undisputed ruler of Rome. In 44 BCE, he was appointed dictator for life, a title that raised fears he intended to become king. A group of senators, including Brutus and Cassius, conspired to assassinate Caesar, hoping to restore the Republic. on the Ides of March. 44 BCE, Caesar was stabbed to death in the Senate. However, rather than restoring the Republic, Caesar's assassination plunged Rome into further civil wars. The Republic, weakened by years of internal strife and power struggles, could no longer function effectively. After Caesar's death, a power struggle ensued between his adopted heir, Octavian, and his former ally, Mark Antony. Together with Lepidus, they formed the Second Triumvirate, vowing to avenge Caesar's death and restore order. The triumvirs defeated Caesar's assassins at the Battle of Philippi in 42 BCE, but tensions soon arose between Octavian and Antony. Antony's alliance with Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt, alarmed Octavian, who portrayed him as a traitor to Rome. The rivalry culminated in the Battle of Actium in 31 BCE, where Octavian's forces defeated Antony and Cleopatra. Following their defeat, the lovers committed suicide in Egypt, leaving Octavian as the sole ruler of Rome. In 27 BCE, Octavian was given the title Augustus, marking the end of the Roman Republic and the birth of the Roman Empire. Augustus established a period of relative peace and prosperity, known as the Pax Romana, during which the empire expanded to its greatest territorial extent. Augustus maintained the appearance of republican institutions, but real power lay firmly in his hands. During Augustus's reign, Rome experienced a golden age of cultural and architectural achievements. The empire's infrastructure was developed with monumental buildings like the Pantheon and Colosseum, and poets like Virgil, Ovid, and Horace produced literary masterpieces. At its peak, the Roman Empire stretched from Britain in the north to Egypt in the south, and from Spain in the west to the Euphrates River in the east. The empire's population, estimated at 50 to 70 million, was unified under Roman law and culture. Roman engineering and architecture, particularly the extensive network of Roman roads, allowed for efficient trade, communication, and military movement throughout the empire. Rome's cities, Rome, Alexandria, Antioch, and Carthage, were centers of intellectual and cultural activity. Scholars like Galen, Ptolemy, and Pliny the Elder made advancements in fields such as medicine and natural history. The Roman legal system also became a lasting legacy, influencing modern legal codes. However, managing such a vast empire proved challenging. Corruption, particularly in the provinces, became widespread. The military demands of defending the empire's borders strained its resources, while local governors increasingly acted independently of the central authority in Rome. The 3rd century CE was a period of great crisis for the Roman Empire, known as the Crisis of the 3rd century. This era saw frequent changes in leadership, as more than 20 emperors ruled in quick succession. Many were assassinated or overthrown, and this political instability weakened the empire's ability to fend off external threats. The empire faced invasions on multiple fronts. In the east, the Sassanid Empire launched repeated attacks, while in the west, Germanic tribes, like the Goths and Vandals, crossed the empire's borders and plundered Roman cities. Economic troubles compounded these military challenges, with inflation and a devalued currency undermining the Roman economy. In an attempt to restore order, the emperor Diocletian implemented significant reforms, including dividing the empire into Eastern and Western Roman empires, to make it more manageable. Diocletian also introduced new economic policies and price controls, though these were only temporarily successful. One of the most transformative changes in the late Roman Empire was the rise of Christianity. Initially, a persecuted religion, Christianity spread rapidly, particularly among the lower classes. Despite waves of persecution, it continued to grow in prominence. The Emperor Constantine played a critical role in Christianity's ascent. After claiming to see a vision of a cross before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge in 312 CE, Constantine converted to Christianity. He issued the Edict of Milan in 313 CE, granting religious tolerance to Christians and allowing them to practice openly. Constantine's embrace of Christianity transformed the empire. By the time of his death, Christianity had become the dominant religion in the Roman world. In 330 CE, Constantine moved the capital from Rome to Byzantium, renaming it Constantinople. This shift in the political center of the empire from west to east would have far-reaching consequences. Despite Diocletian's and Constantine's efforts, the Western Roman Empire continued to decline throughout the 4th and 5th centuries. The division between the Eastern and Western empires grew more pronounced, with the Eastern Roman Empire, later known as the Byzantine Empire, becoming increasingly powerful while the Western Empire weakened. The Western Roman Empire faced constant pressure from barbarian invasions. In 410 CE, the Visigoths, led by Alaric, sacked Rome, a shocking event that symbolized the empire's vulnerability. Though Rome had lost much of its political importance, the sack of the city was a symbolic blow to the empire's prestige. In 455 CE, the Vandals sacked Rome again, further weakening the empire. The Western Roman Empire, beset by internal divisions and unable to defend its borders, collapsed in 476 CE, when the last Roman emperor, Romulus Augustulus, was deposed by the Germanic chieftain Odoacer. This event is traditionally considered the fall of the Western Roman Empire. Though the Western Roman Empire fell, the Byzantine Empire continued to preserve Roman culture, law, and governance for nearly another 1,000 years, until its fall to the Ottoman Turks. In 1453, the legacy of the Roman Empire is profound, shaping the development of modern Europe and the Western world. Roman law served as the foundation for many modern legal systems, and the Latin language evolved into the Romance languages, spoken by millions today, including Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. The Roman alphabet remains the most widely used writing system globally. The rise and fall of the Roman Empire serves as a reminder of the complexity of history, how empires rise through innovation, strength, and unity, but also how they can fall through internal weakness and external pressure. The story of Rome remains one of the most captivating and influential in human history. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please like, share, and subscribe to History Portal for more historical stories.